Hello, this is Gihan Pereira. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk today about a really important and valuable decision-making tool. And many people, I would say most people, don't use this when they're making a decision. And as a result, they're making their decision with only half the information that they need. And they're not really making a good decision because they're not assessing it appropriately before they make that decision. Now, just this week, I was awarded by Thought Leaders 360, a global organization. I was rated as one of the 50 top thought leaders in digital disruption around the world. And of course, I was thrilled by that. I was really pleased and honored because I do talk about disruption, and it's not only digital disruption. We've all been through this global pandemic, which for many people was the most disruptive thing that's happened in their lives, and it wasn't even digital. And on the other side of the pandemic, of course, now we can see there's still going to be a lot of uncertainty and change and, well, let's face it, disruption in our future. So we need to be better at making decisions now so that we can be ready for the future. And I think when you're making decisions, a lot of people think about return on investment. And that's good. ROI, return on investment. It's a really good thing to do. You're about to make a decision and you calculate what the return is going to be. So what are the benefits if everything goes right? Or what are the costs if there are potential problems or obstacles? And you come up with this nicely wrapped package of ROI. But there's another thing that you should think about when you're evaluating the decision, and that is what I call COI, the cost of inaction. So what happens if you do nothing? And many people, they neglect that. They calculate ROI, but they don't think about COI. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're going for a long drive, you're going on holiday with the family, and it's a couple of hours away to your destination. And you're driving on the fastest way there, which is a freeway, and you know that up ahead, a few kilometers ahead, there's an opportunity for you to turn off the freeway and go on this scenic route. And you're thinking about, and you're talking about with your family, should we go this way? And you calculate the ROI, the return on investment. It's a nicer way to go. We're on holidays. We have a little bit of fun. We might come across something interesting on the way. And you might even calculate the cost. It's going to take us longer. It's going to be more petrol. And the kids might get cranky in the car. And then based on that, you can calculate your ROI, return on investment. But what most people forget is to also calculate the cost of doing nothing. So you might say, well, it's easy because we can go this way and nothing changes. If we go the other way, then we have to calculate the cost and the return on that. But what if you see ahead of you on the freeway, there's this billowing smoke, or maybe even you see flames in the distance. And now suddenly the cost of doing nothing has gone up rapidly because you can see there's a bushfire ahead. And so you have to take both of those things into account, the return on investment and the cost of inaction. So whenever you're making a decision, think about both these things. We've got really good tools for calculating ROI, but are you also thinking about COI? Now, if you'd like some help with that, I've got a worksheet that you can download here, and it asks you some questions about the cost of inaction. Whenever you're making a decision, think about both those things. You've probably got the tools for ROI, but ask yourself these questions about the cost of inaction and use that as input into making your decision. It doesn't mean that you won't do anything, but you should also think about the cost of not doing something as much as you think about the cost and return of doing something. So I hope you find that useful. I'll see you in the future.